Hi everyone, welcome to another episode of Rita's Book Club. This week I'm reviewing Mile High by Liz Tomforde. This is the first book of the Windy City series, and this has been on my TBR for like a year. I was very curious to read it, and this summer felt like the perfect time to actually start it. Chicago OK isn't complete without Sanders, everyone's favorite player to hate. He knows his role and plays it well. In fact, he thoroughly enjoys spending the majority of his game time in the penalty box before leaving the arena with a new girl on his arm each night. When he doesn't like his new flight attendant on the team private plane, she works for him, not the other way around. But he'll be sure to remind her of that, and he guarantee but that by the end of the season she will begin begging to quit her job. But every road trip blurs the lines, and he can't quite figure out if he keeps pushing that flight attendant call button in order to push her buttons, or if there's more than that. Stevie has been a flight attendant for a year. She thought she'd seen it all, but when her new job lands her on board, working for the most egotistical and self-righteous diva in the NHL, she starts to second guess everything, including the promise she made to herself of never hooking up with an athlete again, no matter how annoyingly tempting he might be. Evan Sanders is unfiltered, unapologetic, and too attractive for his own good. He loves his image, but she hates everything about it, everything but him. As I said, I was very excited to start reading this series. I've only seen good reviews, and I want to get to know these couples and their stories. In the first one, we got to know Xanders and Stevie, and I was obsessed. The hate was all there in the first couple of chapters, alongside an insane amount of chemistry. I loved their banter so damn much, and I was hooked. First things first, I loved how really honest Stevie's character felt to me. She was intelligent, sweet, and very sassy, and she wasn't afraid to speak her mind, especially to Xanders. What I truly loved about her was how honest she was with her insecurities. She went through a lot with her weight, and how her own mother would speak with her about it. And I loved how the author was able to bring the self love message forward, but it didn't feel like a magic solution. There was the brutal honesty that some days you will feel confident and love your body, but other days are just hard. It was lovely that she had heaven to remind her on those bad days. And Evan was portrayed as such an asshole. I loved it, especially when we got to see who is behind the public persona. He was actually very confident, knew what he wanted in life, and he just loved fiercely. He protected and took care of those he loved, and he was trying to deal with the fact that he needed to let others love him. And the man in therapy that wasn't afraid to share his feelings was groundbreaking to me. Honestly, these two just worked really well for me. As I said, the chemistry was all there from the start, and I loved how Evan became obsessed with Stevie and was breaking all these rules just to be with her. I love their emotional talks and how they just kept casually meeting each other, and because they got to know each other really well through those moments. But I have to say that I truly hated the third act breakup. It was completely unnecessary to me, and I didn't like it just for the drama of it all. I also really love the familial side of the book, not only with Stevie's issues with her mother and how they were as a family trying to solve them, but also how Evan built his own family with Eli and Logan and their little babies. It was nice to read a fun family so established like this, and to see Evan in this role of an uncle was very hands on. But I was super emotional when he reconciled with his dad. That felt like a gun punch to me. Also, major kudos to Stevie and Ryan as these power twins. Their relationship was incredible and a good example of brotherhood. Finally, I like the plot. The whole PR image thing is kind of my work, so I was very interested in that part of it. That agent was a huge red flag, and I wanted to hit him in the face. So glad to see that Heaven was able to see through the bullshit and set his career on track, and even happier that Stevie was able to just use these opportunities to get to work in what she loved and help those amazing puppies get new homes. I'm very excited to read the next one called The Right Move, and it will be focused on Ryan and Indy. The glimpses of them are so good that I just can't wait. As always, if you like this video, please like, comment, and subscribe to my channel. You can also follow me on Instagram at ritasbookclub for more content. Thanks for watching and see you next week. Happy readings!